Now that 31st March is behind us, it's time to also take stock whether you've made the most of your tax benefits to ensure you don't miss out on any benefit which could accrue to you when you file your returns come July 2014. Vinay Singh, property expert, joining us from Mumbai. Vinay, thanks very much for making the time. So I think today the way we decided to structure the show is that I play the protagonist and tell you that, okay, this is what I have done, and tell me now whether I'm eligible for anything, because sometimes we just get lost in all those sections. So Vinay, the first thing, I bought a flat, it's under construction, I've taken a loan from a bank. Am I eligible for any tax breaks?
Oh yes, you are eligible. The only difference being that all those tax benefits are going to take a while to come to you. What happens is that all the benefits are available for a house property, and when your house is under construction, it's not a house property. So you would be entitled to, say, interest benefit on the home loan repayment that you do, the home loan you've taken, but that would start, you'll start getting the benefit in the year of possession in 5 equal annual installments. Also, the principal repayment that you would be doing at that point in time will be available, but it won't be available to you now.
Alright, so I have to wait till possession before I start claiming either a tax exemption on my home loan, the interest part of it, or even for the principal part of it. Fair enough. I'm living in a flat purchase through a house loan. What are my tax benefits or savings?
Well, if it's the only house you have, and I'm assuming that here, if it's the only house you have, there is no tax on such a property. However, whatever interest you pay on your home loan, that you are eligible to claim up to 150,000 rupees every year. So that is the first principal amount that you would get, and the principal repayment that you pay for your repayments, that would get included in section ATC along with your various other things like Provident Fund or PPF and so on and so forth. That will get clubbed in the 1 lakh limit for that. So both these deductions are available to you.
Fair enough. Third one, I'm living in my own house. I have another flat which I bought on home finance, which is rented out. What can I save?
Oh, this is where the saving really kicks in, because your own house property where you're residing, since you obviously don't have a home loan there, the value is taken at nil, there is no taxable income, so there's no benefit. However, if you have taken a home loan on a house which you've rented out, then what happens is that you are allowed to deduct your property taxes from it. You are given a 30% flat deduction to account for repairs and such kind of expenditure, and over and above that, the entire interest that you pay without any ceiling whatsoever is allowed to be deducted. Now, in quite a few cases you will find that this results in a loss which can be set off against your other income like salary and so on and so forth, thus overall reducing your tax liability for that year.
My goodness, so this one seems to be the best option, Vinay. From a tax perspective, live in your own house, have another flat which you bought on home loan, rent it out, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a sweet spot in taxation, and also, well, I'm assuming that whoever has a house to live in and has one that they can rent out is anyway in a sweet spot in life. Okay. Next, can I claim any benefits on maintenance and property tax? And if I can, under what circumstances? You've already mentioned one, but are there any else we've left out?
Well, maintenance, as I mentioned, you would only be entitled to a flat 30% deduction, which would be there in the case of property, your second property or more than one. One is free. It is assumed that it is self-occupied and you're using it for your own purposes, unless you've actually rented it out. But the others, even if you haven't actually rented it out, it would be treated as a deemed let out property. So therefore, since the government wants to tax you on that, they would assume, you know, whatever is a equivalent of a fair rent as your taxable value. They would also have to give you deductions for property taxes as well as the flat deduction and interest and any other expense that you could directly link to it, like say you borrowed funds to repair the house, even that you could claim, but not separately for maintenance. That would get covered in that 30% standard deduction.
All right, fair enough. So this is a question which I think we get a lot. I sell a flat under construction which I bought about 4 to 5 years ago. It's still not complete, and that's a case, very recurring phenomena across the country. My question is, do I have to pay capital gains? If I do, whether these are long-term or short-term capital gains, and can I save them in any way?
Well, this is not a house property, because whatever is under construction, you have a right to a house property. It still is a capital asset. If you held it for 3 years, it is a long-term capital asset. So if you sell it, say after 4 or 5 years, what would happen is it would give you long-term capital gains. Now, having said that, you could invest it in, say, bonds. You could invest it into another residential house property to save tax subject to certain conditions. So there are ways of avoiding that tax, but you cannot equate it with a house property because it isn't one.
Okay, I sell a flat which has recently been completed and handed over to me for possession. What are my tax liabilities?
Well, here is when your asset has transmogrified from being a right to an immovable property into a house property. You've taken possession, it is a house. So now your period of 3 years reckoning for long-term gains would start from the day that you have taken possession. And once you reach that, cross that 3-year period, it would be a long-term asset. And if you sell it after that time, you would be entitled to various benefits like reinvesting in bonds or house, etc. But if you sell it as a short-term asset, all these benefits that you get will not be available to you.
Final question, Vinay. When is wealth tax applicable on property? Under what circumstances?
Well, wealth tax is applicable if you have, say, a guest house, or if you have a farmhouse within, say, 25 kilometers of any municipality. If you have more than one house property, then that might become taxable. One is exempt. However, if you rented out your house property for more than 300 days in a year, then that is not taxable. So you'll have to take a look at what kind of property you're holding and then decide. Even urban land could be taxable, so you'll have to take a look at that.
Vinay Singh, always a pleasure to have your crisp and direct answers. Very enlightening. Thanks for making the time to be on the Property Show.